Hey, it's Richie and Wes.
He's Richie.
And he's Wes.
And this is our show.
The horrors persist. And so do we.
Oh, yes. Barely.
Oh my god.
We are in a broken state.
We're both suffering physical injuries.
Literally. Oh my god.
I'm mentally exhausted. I've also had so many technical issues over the last week and a half. I can't even begin to tell you how frustrating it is to...
And you're back.
My back is fucked up. This will be the last podcast that we record on this old-ass computer.
Oh my god, okay, you freaked me out. I was like...
Announcement, I'm leaving the show.
No, I was all... Mexico's not now already, is it? That's for not for another couple of months.
It's not until April.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute, hold on, huh? Yeah, no.
The computer that we have had since the beginning of this...
Which I thought was only like 2 or 3 years old. Didn't even realize.
No, it's from 2017.
I think also because we used to do... Did we used to do it on the phone?
We did.
Yes, I think that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking about. So for some reason, the laptop just escaped my memory.
It came into play later because we didn't
Yes.
know anything about podcasting when we started. And
We still don't.
Thank you. And we literally would just do the show recording it live without the ability to edit whatsoever.
Yes.
Which also hasn't changed.
That's also our props for us, just being amazing
Yeah.
co-hosts to each other and getting each other's rhythms. I mean, we don't even have notes anymore.
No.
We barely need any editing. We just feed off of each other. It's like a live show for us now.
It really is. I just slap on the music in the beginning. I slap on the music in the end. And
There's a random dead spot when we're looking for something on our phone.
yeah,
That's about it.
that's pretty much it.
We're a damn well-oiled machine for being such a chaotic fucking vehicle.
It's a mess.
You know, the aesthetics may be a little bit rough. Well, goddamn it.
We're doing it. We're doing it. And yeah, I wanted to have one last hurrah with the old computer because I did get a brand new one,
Yes.
which I do feel incredibly fortunate. There's nothing wrong with the old computer as far as like we could still do the podcast on there.
Yeah.
And for a lot of stuff that I use it for. But it broke physically where you can no longer close the laptop.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this. Did I mention this last week?
Did we talk about that after show or not? I can't remember. We talked so much before and
I
after.
know.
I forget when we're rolling and when we're not, honestly.
Yeah, that's so true. But basically, like, it doesn't close anymore.
Yeah.
So
The legs are spread open. It's
like-
an old hoe.
just like me. And the whole point of having
That's why your back's hurting.
Yeah, that's why my back is hurting.
Just kidding.
the whole point of having a laptop is that they're portable.
Yes.
If I wanted a desktop computer, that's what I would have. But I like to take
Be
it
mobile.
places.
As you should with the laptop.
Yeah, so I got a new one. I just haven't played with it yet. I've downloaded all the right programs. I just haven't played with it yet to actually test it out.
Yeah.
To do a quick recording and then make sure the editing program works and all that stuff. And I'm not going to deal with that tonight.
As you shouldn't, because
Yeah.
you've had a week. So it's okay.
Well, we also
had
record
a
the
day.
show Thursday night, and then it's set to publish by Friday morning.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to fuck with any of that.
Absolutely
I've already
not.
had one technical issue today with a third microphone that I bought.
Oh God, yeah.
So I'm not fucking dealing with that. I'm not. I don't want any surprises. So the old girl is still running, and that's just how we're going to do the fucking show.
Yeah. But I did give you a nice little app, which I'm not going to say on here, but to help you with your technical difficulties as far as relaxing, at least.
Yeah, in
That
case
should open
they're
up, you know.
monitoring us. There
Yes.
is a secret app.
There's a secret app for streaming TV shows and movies and all kinds of different streaming networks that,
Mhm. For free.
yes, for free in HD.
Although most people are more technical than I am, so they're like, yeah, I already do that with torrent or whatever.
Right. A lot of things are just on computers, though, so it's hard to find things actually specifically for
And
for
that's
phones.
also that's too complicated.
And that's not for me anymore. Even though for some reason
No.
I was like, the torrent king back in the day.
No, see, that's too
You wanted a
complicated.
pirated, like, full-on, like, HD movie back in the day? I was your man. You wanted a full-length album with bonus tracks? Boom, I got it for you. That was, like, my role in this old-ass forum. Rest in peace, DG Source, because the owners got raided and arrested by the federal government because porn companies, they used to show porn on there. I came in after the fact. So it became like a community for like black, gay, everyone. And we would just post, sometimes you have like some album links or something like that, and you just post a link. But mostly it was just us kind of being like we are on social media, like just like talking shit to each other and, talking about, who our favorite artist is and all these things. And because of the porn, these porn companies went ham, child. They went and arrested these men. They were on the news. We all got each other's, because at that time, Facebook, this is how old this thing is. MySpace and Facebook were like, started to run supreme. So we were like, in case it's our last day here, guys.
Oh my god.
Here's my MySpace handle. Here's my Facebook information. And some of those same people, 15 years later, I'm now still friends with on social media, but we all met there. It was like it's like 150 of us.
I do love that about the internet. I hate most other things about the internet, but I do appreciate there are people that I still talk to from like AOL chat rooms.
Yes. These people knew me when I was married. I put my engagement announcement on there. Like, this is how long ago that shit was. Like, and we were like, I still remember panicking and having anxiety every morning when I wake up, be like, oh shit, is the site still up? Okay, we're still here. How's everyone doing? Anyone like missed the memo about like our Facebook and MySpace handles? Because if not, like here's the thread for that, so we can all keep in contact with each other. Yeah, it was.
God.
And some of it have actually become very good friends in real life as well.
Yeah.
But, whew.
Those are the days.
Yes.
Yeah, that's too complicated for me.
So now with anything, but back in the day, I was like, now I can barely do shit. I'm so.
No, I don't trust it.
I'm tech savvy enough. But I'm nowhere near how I was. I was doing codes and shit before, which I'm like, how the fuck was I even doing?
It got way more complicated.
I can't.
I lost. I'm sure they're using something else even now, but I literally used to work doing Perl code at AOL. Like, I was a programmer. But that's a very specific format. You can learn that.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, I actually kind of learned it on the job because they asked me during the interview if I knew Perl code, and I was like, yeah.
Of course.
I had no idea what they were talking about. But I figured it out.
Yeah.
And I knew HTML and I can hand code stuff. But then they started doing CCS and then they started doing all the, and that lost me. I was like, no, I can't do that. It's too complicated.
Nope.
So now if it's not drag and drop, I'm dipping.
That's it. That's it. I'm dropping out.
It's too much.
I can't. Man, you got your back going, your tech issues. My ankle's fucked up. I was going to wait to tell you even about this on the show because it's so stupid, because it's something that can only happen.
What did you do now? Okay, so first of all, the last time you tripped up your ankle was because you were avoiding a cat that jumped out of a bush.
Uh-huh. Actually, that was the first time. The last time was when I was sleeping, because I rolled around in my sleep and I had my ankles bound so tightly in my sheets that they were crisscrossed against each other, and I put too much pressure, and it's always the left one because it's an old gymnastics injury. And by the way, young kids, you're listening to this right now, if you had an injury when you were in high school or something, it will creep back up to you in your late 30s and early 40s. Out of nowhere.
Your body remembers.
Yes. And now this is the third time this has happened, but this time I caught it. Well, I didn't catch it. I caught how I did it, because I have a lower sitting bed and I have a sitting bench right at the foot of my bed, so I can sit there and like watch my TV because it's like mounted on the wall, or it's like on my dresser or whatever. And I kick around. If there's no one in bed with me, I will flip flop around. Like, sometimes I'm totally still, but most nights I'm just like, especially lately, probably from anxiety from my surgery coming up, I'm just like, I've been tossing
Yeah.
around, tossing, turning, whatever. Well, I woke up the other day on my stomach and I had kicked my bench out, which I've been known to do because I'm so tall. My bed's long anyways, but for some reason, like, I just scooch myself down and
Yeah.
my feet are hanging off, off the foot area. And I felt my right leg was up, like, at an arch, and then I felt my left foot like right here,
Oh, like hanging up the bed.
like hanging off the bed, which is typical. Well, I didn't kick the bench out far enough. You're waking up, you're disoriented. I twisted to lay on my stomach, and my foot was wedged in between the bench and the foot of my bed.
Oh my god.
And it snapped, and it's swollen like right now, and I'm hobbling around. It's wrapped up, and ibuprofen is working fine, so it's less of it doesn't hurt anymore, but I mean, it was, probably because it's the third fucking time in the last year, but this is like the worst it's been, because it was like pure pain up to my thigh. And like I'm grasping onto things to like hobble into the kitchen, and like, ugh. We were just talking about the substance. I felt like Demi Moore, like at the
With
end
her
of the substance when
rickety
she's
knee.
hobbling around. Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
When she tried to straighten her leg out, I felt that.
Oh yeah, that's how I felt with my ankle, just trying to literally stand up. And
We are falling apart, y'all. Physically,
Literally.
mentally, our technology, just every piece of our lives.
but the show
is-
remains
But
intact.
here we are. We persist. We fucking persist. Well, let's get to some topics, since that's what we do on the show, is talk about all the crazy shit that's going on, especially things that are trending on social media. And I do have two up front. 'cause
I already
it's-
know.
they're
I
sad.
already. Go ahead.
RIP to Michelle Trachtenberg, who passed away after a liver transplant. Was she 35?
39.
39.
Mm-hmm. And people, again, because no one learns from anything, were criticizing her appearance just recently. And she replied to them. Someone's like, what's wrong with you? You need to eat something. She's like, she didn't say the liver transplant, because that wasn't disclosed at first. She says, I'm not 16 anymore. Like, fuck off. And, like, be nice online, basically is what she said. I'm paraphrasing right now, but... Which is true.
It's absolutely true. People do that shit all the fucking time.
They did it with
and
fucking Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
We learned what happened with that. The man had fucking cancer. Stop talking about people's appearances regarding their body. If they're wearing something silly, whatever. That's just like light shade. But as far
sure.
as how someone looks aesthetically,
Yeah.
stop talking about it.
Yeah,
you
you
don't
don't know
know
what's
when
going
anyone's going through period. It could be illness, it could be stress, it could be depression. You don't know.
It could be a lot of things, and I think especially because someone is so visible when they're in the industry or
Yes.
what have you, is any change to their appearance is going to be
Mhm.
scrutinized and compared
Or in
to
her case, when she's
old
been away
photos.
from
Yeah,
the spotlight for a while and then someone sees her.
right.
Same thing. It's like, it seems like a drastic change when it could be actually nothing sometimes, or
It could be. I mean, you see someone when they're, 12, 13, 14. Of course, they're
Yes.
going to look different when they're in their 30s.
Exactly.
Duh. So ridiculous. And yeah, she had been sick for a while and had this liver transplant, and which I'm even surprised about that, because not to speak ill of anyone or what have you, but my understanding is like usually people who have substance abuse problems, they're not at the top of the list for
no.
liver transplants
Yeah, no.
because they're prone to just relapse.
Exactly, yeah.
So, the fact that she even was eligible for it, I think hopefully speaks to where she
Yeah.
was with her recovery and all that stuff. But it also speaks to how fucked up all these most of these child stars are, where so many of them are self-medicating. They do have these mental health issues, physical health issues, and so many of them do end up having problems later on in life, which I don't know why this spiraled me into this whole thing, but I think the next wave of child stars, I think we're even starting to see it now, is the family blog stars.
Oh, totally.
The kids who were born on camera,
Yes.
all of their youngest moments are caught on camera before they could ever consent to
Yep.
being put on YouTube or TikTok or whatever.
And still are very few laws regarding that.
And the only places there are, like California, where they're required now by law to put money aside for the child, now people are moving out of California to avoid that. Which also, I give a side eye to any. Any, you run a family blog? No, I don't trust you. I don't trust it.
Oof.
No, something else is going on there. But I also can see where, and I know some kids are, certainly that's what they want to do and their kids and like all the stuff, but you also have to have parents who are willing to go through that process with you.
Yes.
But they don't know.
Exactly.
If you're not a parent that's been born into, we look down on all these Nepo babies, but like, if you're not a parent who was in the industry, you don't know shit about the industry.
No.
So even if you're willing to go along with your child and go to auditions and whatever, support them, like, you don't know.
No.
You don't know any of that stuff. Your life experience hasn't given you that knowledge, so the parents aren't necessarily any more aware of what's going on. I had the opposite, which I may have mentioned on the show before. There was a period where, God, I forget how old I was even. Definitely like tweenish, and I really wanted to like be an actor and do all the stuff, and I was really into it, and I was given the opportunity to fly to Orlando because that's where Nickelodeon was based and all the stuff, and where you could audition for all these different shows. And I had gotten an invitation to do that, and my parents were like, "No, we're not doing that." I was like, "Okay."
And you're still here with us today.
Wow. I don't blame them, because it wasn't like they sent us a plane ticket.
Yeah.
It was like, "Oh, you're invited to audition."
Yes.
Like, okay, you're gonna be
get your own hotel and get your own
get
flight.
your own
and
flight, get your own hotel,
accommodations. Yeah.
and then go in a huge cattle call with 200 other kids. There's no guarantee of anything. But they were like, "No, we're not doing that, and you're not doing that, because you're our child, and if you want to do that when you're old enough to get yourself around and do those things, then that's what you can do."
Fine. Yeah.
But a lot of parents are enticed. It's exciting, or worse, they're stage parents and they're pushing their kids to do that.
Yes, which is the case for a lot of these fucking kids, especially the ones from 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's more and more. I think people are becoming aware of.
Yeah, and people are getting called out on the spot now.
Yeah.
Some people are seeing through the bullshit, and you can at least comment on people's videos. Before, these people were just in auditions. You never knew who the fuck these people were until they sprouted up and they're the next big thing. And then later on down the road, you realize, oh, their parents are kind of horrible. Jamie Spears.
Right. And we're still, even with all that, when we find out, by the time we find out, it's 10, 15 years later.
Yes, and the damage has already been done.
Yeah. So it's great that all these things are coming to light and we're having these conversations and people are more aware of it, but like it always comes out way after the fact. Like Diddy didn't get caught before he threw one of his freak offs.
Exactly. Well,
it was way after the fact.
Yes.
R. Kelly, same thing.
Yeah.
What's the one?
Damage is done.
About all the kid shows. Oh man.
Oh God, the Schneider guy,
Yeah.
Nickelodeon, yeah,
Yeah. Whatever that.
Dan Schneider,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget what that documentary is called.
fucking Epstein.
That
Even
goes-
though Courtney Love warned us way back in like 1998,
she sure
but
did.
everyone called her crazy, which she was a little bit from some things. But you know what? Hey,
She's always been a little crazy.
Yes,
though,
but-
and I have to wonder.
but she's also
too-
never lied about things. Like
right.
She was never one of those crazy people that would go on conspiracy theories and things
No.
like that. She would just say it how it was. She had her own brand of crazy, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But
And her own
when she
problems
spoke,
with
you probably should
substance
have
abuse,
listened because
That's the crazy thing is how has she persevered at all with her career? Because there's no way, no one was letting her in any doors
no.
because they knew she'd tell everybody what she saw behind them.
Exactly. Yep.
Like,
Yep.
and yet she's been in movies, she's been in music, she still tours. I saw her open for Lana Del Rey a few years ago.
She's talented
She's still doing it. She's still
and
doing
has an
it.
actual love for the art. That's the thing, because she could be sitting back, just being a rich lady,
Yeah.
not pursuing anything at all.
Oh yeah, she's still gotten to run.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't have to open up for fucking Lana Del Rey. She could easily just be home enjoying her millions. You know what I mean? It's like,
Oh, absolutely.
that's because she actually enjoys the art and cares about those types of things.
And I do think Courtney Love is very underrated as a writer.
Oh,
Especially.
extremely.
And that's probably why. Because she tells the truth about shit. And she's probably been blacklisted from almost everything you could be blacklisted from.
Right? Oh, Lord. Did you hear about Roberta Flack while we're doing up fronts?
No.
Yeah, she passed away too.
What?
Oh, yeah, these things come in threes. There's a third as well.
There is, and a fourth.
Yeah. Wait, a fourth? I missed the fourth. Yeah, Roberta Flack passed away the other day, the day before Michelle Trachtenberg.
I did not hear that.
Yes, if you don't know, Killing You Softly, the original singer, just soul legend.
Yeah.
Yes, she passed away, unfortunately.
Ah.
I believe it's natural causes, though. She was older,
Yeah.
had an incredible legacy, incredible catalog. But yeah, she was the first one this week to pass away, and then Michelle was the day after, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? So rest in peace to her as well.
What a legacy to leave behind, though. Roberta Flack.
Yes.
Come on.
Oh, yes.
That voice.
Oof. And at a time you had to fight to get noticed as a black woman, especially. Oof.
Yeah.
That's an era that will never be seen again.
You cannot top that.
No, that
You cannot top that era
was-
because the talent that the talent
Yes.
was so unbelievable.
yes,
That's what broke them through.
yes.
It wasn't that they were part of the machine. All this.
Yep.
They had to be so incredible.
fucking amazing, and had to keep pushing through all the no's. And yeah, you're still gonna get a lot of no's in this
Yeah.
day and age. Don't get me wrong, but damn, just pure fucking talent and soul, and that voice. Yeah, so rest in peace to her as well.
Well, also R.I.P. to Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy
Oh my god, and their dog.
and their dog.
I was just before I took my pre-show nap, read about recent developments in that.
Yeah. Well, that was highly suspicious from the beginning.
Well, I thought, okay, probably carbon monoxide poisoning.
Hmm.
If he, her, and the dog are dead, there's no signs of foul play. Sounds. The dog was the tipping point. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's kind of. I mean, if they left the car running or something, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, no.
But the dog was locked in another room.
Yes.
The front door was open,
Yes.
and they were found in 2 different rooms.
Yes. And then I was like, well, that's fucking weird, because then there are 2 other dogs that were alive,
Oh,
but they were in the main room. Well, someone who actually deals with, and this is not like someone that works for like a media company or anything like that. It was a commenter that deals with forensics and stuff like that, because there were specific things that were mentioned regarding the state of her body. There were pills on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a different room. His
Mhm.
sunglasses were on the ground. The door being ajar. Maintenance people not seeing them for like 2 weeks. Well, what they said, and I'm usually not. I usually ignore any kind of conspiracy or any type of breakdown until things, are actually given. But they said, only thing I can think of is this. They said that they keep a space heater in their bathroom. And she said what she could think of is that perhaps there were toxic fumes coming from the heater. The wife was getting her pills. The fumes hit her. She knocked out. He opened up along with the dog. He opened up the door after taking the other dogs for a walk. Came and checked on her. The fumes had built up so much in the bathroom. He starts coughing and whatnot. Goes a little bit away. He passes out as well. Sunglasses fall to the floor. He didn't close the door all the way because he had just come in to possibly seeing her laying down on the bathroom, floor, and the other dogs were just roaming around. So I was like, okay, that actually makes a lot of sense, honestly.
She went CSI on that.
Like, if there... Oh, yeah, I was like... Because I was like, oh, no. Someone, went in and I was like, oh, wait, that actually makes a lot of sense if it wasn't carbon monoxide. Because...
Yeah, something like that definitely could be the case. Although, definitely you'd think they would smell something when they went in the house or what have you. Maybe they're just not...
Well, they were there for, 2 weeks.
That's true.
Before they were found. And the maintenance guys, I guess, were, I think, just
checking in.
Gardeners and stuff like that were just doing shrubbery work, around there. So that's why they hadn't seen them, because they weren't scheduled to be there until... Because they had been there apparently for, a week. Judging by the, what had happened, because she said that, the face was bloated. She says that happened within, 3 or 4 days. That her body was, getting mummified. That happens around 1.5 weeks or so. So it was around a week or so that they had been like this. Which is fucking wild.
It is wild, and I know that I'm a true crime junkie, and I'm always seeing these things, but it also does... These are real people, and they have families, and they have all this stuff, and it has to be so hard in real time.
Oh,
it's
definitely.
one thing, granted, and I know still there's sort of a sensationalism about it, even when I'm watching a case that happened in 2000, but to have all this be unraveling in real time.
In real time.
And the media, and the fans, and then, of course, I'm sure there's, TikTok conspiracy videos. It's just, Gene has such an incredible legacy of his own in all the movies that he has done. I mean, the man was 95.
I didn't realize he was fucking 95.
Okay.
I thought the man was 70.
Well, he's been around for so long, and he's
the same
the
for the most part.
So
Yes.
I definitely thought, I didn't realize he was 95, but he's been in so many good movies and just has such a legacy of his own, and it's sad to see that get muddled with the details and all that stuff. And I just feel really terrible for his family and what they must be experiencing at this point.
Yeah, rest in peace to another legend. Who the hell's the other person?
R.I.P. to the Crunch Steam Room.
Whoa, the one that I witnessed the fucking raid?
We've been talking about this one for the last few episodes. Just to catch you up, if you're tuning in for the first time, this is a wild episode to tune in for the first time. We took 10 minutes just to complain about things. But Crunch West Hollywood is a popular gym with the gays and some celebrities too. I used to see Jeff Goldblum there and stuff like that. But it's also well known that in the shower, steam room, dry sauna area, there's a heavy amount of cruising that goes on. In fact, I myself I used to go there. I don't anymore. But I myself have experienced this, and other people have experienced this, where people will try to cruise you or rub up against you or whatever, and if you're not into it, they get mad. Well, you know what goes on here. Okay, maybe
So
I
it's like
do. but
Grindr
that
in real
doesn't-
life?
That doesn't mean I have to fuck you. Or if
Wow.
you're sitting there and people are going at it, and if you show any signs of displeasure
Yeah.
or not being into it, it's your fault. Because you know what's going on here. You walked
Oh my
into it.
god, no, it's that fucking bad. Jesus.
Yeah. So on one hand, I can see why, especially for those people, to close that steam room.
Yeah.
Consent is consent, even with just your eyes.
Exactly.
But also, they took no measures really to modify this type of behavior, except that sting operation that you saw a
Yes.
few years ago.
I will wrap this up very quickly. So I was doing some work on my laptop. There's a Starbucks right downstairs. This Crunch is right upstairs. All I see out of nowhere are various men taken out in succession without their clothes,
in towels.
in towels, into police cars. Why? Because there was a Craigslist post and ring that had been going on for a while for DL married men to go into the steam room to hook up. And they were all busted and arrested that day. And I just extended my workday that day. And just to watch the tomfoolery going on, child, because it was you can't pay for that amount of entertainment that's right there in front of your face.
Set up a whole sting operation for the
Yes.
Crunch steam room, but we still got people stealing phones,
Right?
and we hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, instead of trying to mitigate it in any way or instituting, like, I don't know, a swimsuit policy or fucking anything, they just said, no, it's closed. It's closed.
Well, damn.
Goodbye. We have no more steam room. It doesn't exist. That's it. You're cut off. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
lordy,
what did I
lordy,
see
lordy.
in the stairwell of that building the other day?
Oh,
Some guy sucking a dick in the stairwell.
of course.
You know,
We've all been there, honestly.
I mean,
still.
sure. Once or twice. But once or twice. But do y'all not have a car parked downtown? There are no cameras.
Something.
I guarantee you there are no cameras
None.
in that parking lot.
None.
Go
at
to
all.
your car.
There are none. Nope.
No.
Because they don't want liability for anything, so no. Parking lots do not have cameras for that reason. That's why they have the signs up.
Twice the perfect place.
Anything that happens
Perfect place for a
within our
hookup.
parking lot, we are not responsible for.
'Cause
that's
you don't
why
care.
that's why they don't have cameras. They don't
You don't
want to have
give
to pay
a
anything. You park there at your own fucking risk of what you might see, what might happen to your car, what might happen.
You could get
in there.
murdered. It doesn't matter. It's
Nope.
not their fault.
Nope, and there's no proof of it on camera, so
Great.
Wow.
Great horror movie setting.
it really is. See your next project.
I don't know. I'm having so much trouble with my current project. Can imagine.
Just put it
Although
in the background.
I never get caught filming there.
See? Because there's no fucking cameras. No one's watching anything.
Yeah, just a mess. Y'all, again, I get it. Cruising is part of gay culture, blah, 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 yada, yada. But there's sniffies for that. There's Grindr, there's Scruff.
There's so many
there's
outlets
so many
now.
outlets. There's places you can
There
go.
are bath homes. Bath homes.
There
That sounds a lot more classier, actually. And it actually is, like, grammatically correct, honestly. But bathhouses.
Funny enough, it's closed now. There's only a couple bathhouses left in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Because they're no longer, you can't build a new bathhouse.
No.
But you're kind of grandfathered / legacy
Exactly.
in if you already exist. And there used to be I won't say it was nice, but there was a big bathhouse, which I don't even remember what it was called now. I'm really blanking on
Was it
the
downtown
name.
LA?
No.
Oh, it's not Midtown? 'Cause that was huge.
The Midtown.
That was huge.
Not the Century City Spa, which is not
No,
a bathhouse.
Midtown's downtown LA.
It wasn't called Midtown. It was called like something bathhouse. But we always called it Grandma's house.
I'm done.
Oh, we're going to Grandma's house after this.
I can't. Not the code word.
And we'd be going to that spa. It was huge.
I
There
mean,
were
huge.
all
4
these-
levels.
Yes, and all these different rooms you could rent,
Upstairs was open, like I mean, like rooftop open, like it was the roof.
and you could get a room, you could rent a room, or you could just rent a locker and
Yeah,
whatever. But
you didn't even need a room.
you didn't really need one. I mean, it was nice, discreet place, to do
Spacious,
drugs,
like
but
little snack bar area with a vending machine.
live DJs.
Yes. Rest in peace. Should have added that to our upfront.
So many things.
Oh my god, I have a question for you.
Hmm.
Because this has been trending for like a couple of days now and it's been baffling me. Would you be offended if someone you were dating sent you $30 to buy yourself lunch?
Would I be offended?
Yeah. Would that be enough money for you to buy yourself lunch on a random Tuesday?
I definitely wouldn't be offended by that by any means.
Thank you.
No.
I think that that's more than enough for a lunch, right?
Well, even if it's not, it's a good
Gesture of them
Gesture.
caring about you.
What are you ordering for lunch that's over $30?
Well, bitch, the internet says otherwise.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yes. Some girls posted that.
I knew
Yep.
it was going to be a girl. I knew it.
Oh, no, but it's expanded to everyone.
Really?
Oh, yes, even the gays.
Sorry to be sexist to y'all, but I fucking knew it.
This girl posted. Well, no, her post is fine. She said, "Oh my god, my man like sent me $30."
Oh, so
like,
she was
for lunch."
happy about it.
Yes.
Oh, see, I thought
she
it was gonna
got
be one of
attacked.
those. I thought it was gonna be one of those. It was like he only sent me $30 for lunch.
No.
Oh, so
she was
was
fine with it, and other people lashed. I
Oh,
was
I'm
like,
just an
"I'm sorry,
asshole.
but $30 is not." I'm like, what the fuck are y'all eating on a goddamn lunch break? First of all, also,
Yeah.
you could have nothing for lunch. That is an extreme term of endearment. Just to send you some money to get you lunch. $30 is more than enough for fucking lunch. Or what? What? I saw people saying, "Well, what if I want like something like fancy for lunch?" Or like the price of things now. The price of things now is not more than fucking $30 for a goddamn lunch break.
Lunches are 15
Sorry.
to 20. Plates
Exactly.
are 25 to 30, even in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Yes, you can go above that, but if your broke ass doesn't have the money for lunch,
Exactly.
maybe don't go get something fancy.
Exactly. Child, I was over it because I just kept seeing all these fucking posts and I said, let's be fucking for real. All of y'all with your imaginary significant others would eat a fucking Chipotle burrito if someone said that to you, Postmates.
Thank you.
Or a goddamn Big Mac.
Although McDonald's has gotten expensive, but still not more than $30 fucking dollars.
Go in the McDonald's app. Lots of deals.
There are deals.
Extreme deals.
Yeah. And apparently, if you clear your cash, you can reorder the same deal.
Oh, my deals just stay there for like
some of
a
them are
couple of
once a
weeks.
day.
Oh, I
Some
don't
of
do
them
any
are
of
once a day.
those.
Like if you want to do the dollar, whatever, the dollar
gotcha.
burger, or whatever
Yeah.
it is, you're only supposed to do that once a day. But if you clear your cash,
Oh. Because my jam right now in the
Do it again.
mornings, I get my sausage, egg, and muffin with a free hash brown,
mhm.
$4. The sandwich itself is like $6. Hash browns are $3 fucking somehow fucking now. Use the fucking McDonald's app. That's the only app that gives you actual deals that I've discovered, honestly. If more pop up, then I will let you know.
For real. And yeah, excuse my sexism before, but what I have seen so many times
Yes.
is women who expect, first of all, everything.
Oh, you're right.
Everything.
Excuse your
to
nothing.
be
You're
paid
being
for.
honest.
They want everything paid for.
Yes.
They're like fucking rent. I mean, they're literally like, oh, he didn't make my car payment this month. Like, what? Girl, get a job. And nobody's pussy that good. No,
No.
absolutely not. Also, no, just stop.
Oh,
But
it's
I've seen
trickled
that a
down
lot.
into our
I've
community too.
seen that a lot.
Bottoms are getting bold now. The top should pay for dinner. What? Fuck before dinner. What the fuck are you talking about? Why is the top supposed to be support? why are we as a gay community that have fought for our rights to just be noticed and have actual rights,
For now.
right? Taking on heteronormative standards for our relationships.
And very, very antiquated ideas of how like
It's
a
like
date should go.
1950s bullshit.
real.
I'm all no pussy in a hole is that good
No, go either.
for me to be fucking buying you dinner, and
If I want to.
if I want to, that's fine. I'm not here to
But it's
fucking
not
take
on
care of your
demand.
ass.
It's not on demand.
No.
And I think just splitting things is totally fine.
Yes.
Or like if you invite someone somewhere, typically if you're the one inviting and you're the one picking the place and you're the one, then sure, I can understand that you would also be paying. But
Based on
For
your sexual role
every-
in a relationship?
no.
That's insane. I saw some fucking bottom say, I'm not gonna date like this man. If he like wants me to move in, then he's paying all the rent because I'm the bottom. What? That's crazy. Then let me tell you what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
The second that relationship goes awry and he kicks your fucking ass out, then it's a boo-hoo. I'm homeless. I have nowhere to live. This bum ass bitch kicked me out. Yada yada. Well, didn't you want to be a 1940s, 1950s housewife?
Oh, here's my GoFundMe. to
Exactly.
give me money. No, bitch. We're supposed to be independent.
Let me
doing
tell you
things
this:
for
a bad
ourselves.
bitch will never fucking need a man for anything, or a woman if we're talking about lesbians.
Yeah. No.
A bad bitch is a bad bitch.
Right.
And if some things come with it, that's fine. But a bad bitch is not a beggar.
Oh, if someone wants to provide
Yes.
for you and they
And plenty of
want
people
to get that,
do.
and they're in a financial position to do it and all
But
these
having
things,
an attitude of
but
expected is not going to get you where you want, sweetheart, because there's another one of you right around the corner.
I've had multiple times where I was dating someone and I wasn't even asking for anything. But if I'd had a hard week or if I'd whatever, I'm a fucking mess. So if I'd just been like, oh, I'm so glad it's Friday. Oh, whatever. It's been a long week. Suddenly, knock, 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 delivery of a couple bottles of wine or
Yeah,
something.
something. That's how relationships should work.
That's so sweet. And that's like so nice. I'm not checking how much the value of the wine is.
Exactly.
I'm not expecting that.
Also, I don't want to hear this person thinks they own me. Well, you're acting like a fucking object. At this point, you're acting like a pet. So at that point, they do own you because you're expecting someone to pay for your whole fucking lifestyle, expecting these things to happen. So yeah, you actually are an object at that point. Let's be very, very clear with that. So expect to be treated like one and discarded like one when that object is not shining in you anymore. And you're no longer valued because you bring nothing else to the fucking table besides your whole.
And that's a whole. It is also a disparity in like the whole power dynamic of the
Exactly.
relationship. You're not supposed to be, again, unless this is your thing and it's their thing and you want to be kept and they're offering what
Yep.
have you. I get there's also kinks involved with this. People like to give
Yes.
people money and all that stuff. But
That's consensual.
that's a consensual thing that people explore and they talk about.
Yes.
Not to have the dynamic where, oh, well, I just deserve to have something. No, you're
Yes.
supposed to be in a relationship.
That's also non-consent, by the way.
right.
You're
That's just
pressuring someone-
That's being a leech.
Yes. You're basically extorting someone. You are basically saying that I
Yeah.
will not give you these things, meaning my body
Yeah.
or my
Unless you pay for
attention,
it.
if you are not going to give me these things, which is your money.
Mm-hmm. No, that's transactional.
But it's,
You a hoe. And that's fine. You can be a hoe.
yeah, be hell, but own up to it. But even knows that's consensual. The hoe
Right.
knows what the fuck they're doing,
Absolutely.
and so does the John.
Yes. Well, but also then they go home.
Yes.
They don't live there.
No. Drives me fucking nuts. But
Ugh. Yeah, I would take that.
$30 is enough for a lunch. Shut the fuck up. You would take a fucking side of fries.
Yeah.
Let's be very. People have these imaginary lives online, and it drives me crazy.
It
Like-
really it really does, because like I said, even if you wanted to get something fancy, then you're only paying over that $30.
Yes.
So it's still cheaper. You still get a discount. It's like a coupon.
You would have gone to the fucking vending machine that day anyway, spent $5 on the goddamn tuna sandwich that was in there anyways, and a fucking can of Coke. Shut up. Be appreciative of if you even have someone that cares enough about you to do that for you.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, oh my god, someone actually wants to date me.
Literally.
Let
Someone
alone
returned a
pay
text?
for my lunch. People are literally out of control, and I am done. I'm just done with it. Mm-mm. Also, how crappy to shit on someone's picnic when they're just sharing how cute it was that their friend
Yes!
sent them money for lunch. And to turn that into, well, he doesn't really love you because it wasn't $100. Like, what the fuck?
The internet is ridiculous. This cute little high schooler, I think he can't be more than like in freshman year of college.
Oh.
Saved up and bought his girlfriend a used Honda Civic. It was like a 1999 or something like that. And
Good for
people
him.
shat on him.
Yo, first of all, I drive a 15-year-old Honda Civic. It's not quite as old as that one, but those cars will last you.
How many men have
They're
bought you
solid.
cars?
Thank
Is
you.
my question.
They're solid. And what do you expect?
How cute is that?
It's
At such a
adorable.
young age, he couldn't have been older than like 19 years old. Couldn't have been.
Mm-mm.
I wasn't rolling like that at the time or saving up to buy someone else's fucking car.
What's he supposed to do?
That's fucking
Get
adorable
a
to me.
fucking Lexus?
So
Like, shut
fucking cute
up.
to me. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I was like, oh, that's adorable. Here come all the hate comments.
You know, I know we live in a world of consumerism and things, but these people really need to get offline
Yes.
and see a bit of the world.
Could they have bought
Also, yeah,
anyone a used fucking 1999 Honda Civic? Probably not.
probably not. But also, like, go somewhere where you're in a developing country. Go somewhere where you don't have those luxury items available in the same way that we do here, or that most people could afford them. And you start to recognize, like, we are so fucking spoiled. Because I can just go on Amazon and get that. Guess what, y'all? There are places Amazon doesn't deliver to.
Mm-hmm.
There are places where they drive old cars because that's
That's
of all
it.
what they have available. That's what they can afford, and they keep them up, and they're driving around. Fucking Cuba hasn't had new cars in like 50
Literally.
years, and they're still driving that shit around. Y'all, we are so fucking spoiled, but also why decide to put that energy out and try to deflate
Yes.
someone who's clearly so excited about something positive that happened to them? So this is why I'm glad. I'm so glad that I grew up like a country mouse and kind of a bumpkin. Not that we were poor by any means. Like we were actually fairly privileged.
Yeah.
But my parents hadn't come from that sense of privilege.
Yeah.
And we don't need a new one. We don't need that.
If
You
it
know-
ain't broke, don't fix it.
No. Mm-mm. And there were so many times I was like, like so mad that I couldn't get, I don't know, whatever the fuck it was. Something I would use once and probably never.
Yeah,
Like, I remember I wanted penny loafers
for no fucking reason.
because a whole bunch of people, the popular kids in school had penny
Happy
loafers.
loafers, yeah.
And my parents were like, you have shoes. And I begged and begged and begged, and I finally got them to buy me a pair of penny loafers.
Rome twice.
I hated them.
See?
They're horribly uncomfortable, first of all. Wore them twice. Yeah, wore them twice. I didn't need those shoes. And they knew it. They knew what they bought them. But I wouldn't shut up. So finally they fucking bought them.
The squeaky wheel got changed.
Yeah, I was definitely a brat growing up, but in spite of that, my parents really did try to instill the idea that, the things that you have, those are yours.
Yeah.
And what I see so many people out here, especially in Los Angeles, they're leasing the car.
Uh-huh.
They're maxing out their credit cards. Their parents are helping them with the rent. They're all to live.
Heavy in the last one.
All to appear
Mm-hmm.
as though they're living this lush, lavish
Yep.
lifestyle, which, first of all, real people don't even fucking care.
At all.
They don't care. They do not fucking care. If someone would not be friends with you because you drive an old car or you don't wear the trendy clothes, then fuck them anyways, because they're not cool. But I see people do it all the time out here, and really they don't have anything
No.
except debt.
Yes.
Miles and miles of debt. All for what? To impress people who aren't even thinking about you anyways.
Exactly.
No. I would say, you know what? If someone sent me $30, I would probably intentionally get a cheap lunch
Yes.
because then I have made a profit.
That part.
That's the kind of bitch I am. I'm gonna get dinner too on that shit.
And you get a fucking blowjob when I get home off of work.
Oh. Y'all spoiled. Spoiled.
And delusional.
That part. Okay, changing topics here rather abruptly, but the mystery has finally been solved. DNA confirms that Aaron Kosminski was Jack the Ripper.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we finally solved a crime that is so old.
I'm like, wait, whoa. How the fuck did they do that?
Because the notorious case of Jack the Ripper became so famous that there was a point where they're like, well, look into this, y'all, because the police bungled this case so thoroughly. Also, this was clearly before DNA evidence
Yes.
and what have you, but I think they might have had fingerprint technology back then. I can't remember. But anyway, basically the police they lost evidence or this or that, or like there are just so many things with this case where, fucking
It was fumbled.
Keystone Cops
completely.
definitely like fumbled everything. And at some point in time, Jack the Ripper memorabilia, genuine items from the crime scenes became available through public auction.
Oh, God.
And there are people who are true crime heads and they want to own, for whatever reason, they want to own this stuff. And someone had actually purchased the only piece of evidence that appeared to have any DNA on it. And inevitably, this has led to this person turning it over to have DNA testing, and they did trace it back to this individual, who was apparently one of the initial
Suspects,
but was never.
That's crazy.
So all this time, and it's persisted. And, at this point, what does it fucking matter?
Right.
I mean, we're talking about. Look, I took the Jack.
He's dead. Everyone else is dead. Like what?
It happened in 1888.
Exactly.
I took the Jack the Ripper
Like 2 years before I was born.
walking tour. Yeah. I took the walking tour when I was in London only because it takes you through the old parts of London. You go
Okay, yeah.
through old London, you see the cobblestone streets, you see, which there's only a few still around, and a lot of the tour is, well, this building replaced the original,
Yeah.
you're not seeing a lot of
It's a fucking Neiman Marcus. It's
stuff.
like, so this used to be.
yeah, this is where the whorehouse was, but now it's a mixed-use space with Sprouts.
And this Starbucks over to your left. It
Right.
used to be.
Right. So most of it is, not really there anymore. But there
Yeah.
are some few pieces and parts where you can see like the old gas lamps and the cobblestones and stuff like that, and just the mystery of it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been a crime that has been a mystery of the ages, and apparently they're now saying that they are able to connect it to this individual, but given how the chain of custody on these items has clearly changed hands multiple times over the 100+ years, that, I mean, let's put it this way, it wouldn't stand up in court. Not that there will be a court hearing, because the motherfucker has been dead for a long
Exactly.
time.
Everyone's dead now,
They're all dead.
including the fucking police officers, detectives.
The children of.
Right. What are you gonna do?
Dead.
What are you gonna do?
I'm glad we know now. Ooh, I can sleep easy tonight.
Oh, good lord.
Mm-mm-mm. I just have a couple more things.
I only have one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so I was, I'm like the music guy over here. So I was just like deep diving in just random artist stuff. And I ran into this YouTuber actually that categorized something that I was never able to categorize before, which I thought was very interesting. So you have your singers and your performers, basically, in pop
yeah.
music. Your Mariahs, your Whitneys, and all that. And then you have your Britneys and your Gagas and all that. Gaga can do both, obviously. But I mean, she's more of a performer. That's what she's known for. Her theatrics on stage
Yeah.
and all those things. Whereas Mariah, Whitney, they would just stand there and walk back and
Mhm.
forth on stage and whatnot. But then there's this weird category that is the songwriter that's neither. Like a BB Rexa,
Oh, yeah.
who has been around
Mm-hmm.
for 15 years now, has written some of your most memorable songs you probably heard on radio for some of these artists that I just named. Has their own solo careers, but they don't stand out enough to be either.
That sounds like a Bonnie McKee situation.
Yes!
Who is a great artist.
Yes!
She has a great voice. She did have an album out.
Yep.
But yeah, has never quite.
Yeah,
hit
I wanted
either
to get your
niche.
thoughts on that because I've always thought about that
Mhm.
because I'm so immersed in the industry. Like I follow these random people that
Yeah.
and even up until recently, Charlie XCX was one of those people.
Mhm.
This is her breakout year last year.
Yeah.
Before that,
for
she was
sure.
someone that just wrote a bunch of songs.
Yeah, and she
And
had a few
She had a-
singles. here and
exactly,
there,
but no one would know that it was her unless you knew it was the general public,
Yeah.
not the gays.
Right.
I'm saying just all of
Yeah.
the world in general. You know this song, it stands out to you.
Mhm.
You're not like, oh, this is Charlie. No, it
Right.
was just like,
Now,
this
yes,
is
of
this very
course.
popular song I hear all the time, but it's not attached to an artist that has that thing to where you
Yeah.
attach it to that artist.
Right.
It's not like, oh yeah, this is a Janet Jackson song. Oh, this is a Beyonce song. Oh, this. They're those weird in-betweeners that write all these songs for all these artists, and they have great songs of their own, but they're just literally the in-betweeners. They're
I actually think, well, there's multiple reasons for that.
Yeah.
One, so many of them get stuck in these contracts where they won't release the album or
Yes.
they won't do. That's what happened to
Mhm.
Bonnie McKee, who I think actually could have had an amazing career.
yeah.
But in a way, and I'm sure they might want things different, but I think that's the fucking pocket.
Oh, I would love it.
You are making your money.
Yes.
You've got your royalties.
More money than some of these artists are actually
Oh,
making.
no shit, because they're on a
That they're
360.
the face of your song.
Yeah, they're on a
Like,
360. They're paying everything
exactly.
back. You're actually making the coin
Yes.
every time it gets played or they're going on tour or what have you. I think that's the fucking pocket because you're in the
Yes.
industry, you're working with all these people, you're creating amazing music, you're getting the money,
Yes.
but you don't have to worry about stand and all these people fucking with you online
Yep.
or not being able to have any kind of sort of, I don't want to say normal life because what is normal life, but just
Exactly.
having a life where you can exist without being mauled by people whenever you go out, right?
Yes.
Some people would recognize you, sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, you're not going to see Mariah Carey at Trader Joe's.
Exactly.
Like, it's not
Yeah.
gonna-
But you very well, like Macy Carly Rae Jepsen, walk in there.
And good for her.
Yes. Someone who took what started off as not a flop, but just as a joke by the masses. Because Call Me Maybe got literally just ridiculed by everyone when it first came out for no reason at all, honestly.
That was a cute song.
And yeah, it was just a cute song. I never thought why it got so much hate. Like, it was what it was.
Until it didn't.
Yes.
And everyone
And
was
then she
doing-
flipped
yeah.
that into now she's a solid touring artist and she writes all these songs and
Yeah.
it's an interesting middle ground, like, of people. And then in my deep dive I did see this amazing quote by Bebe Rexha because she responded to someone's comment on something. And she said, I am totally fine with being and totally aware of knowing that I'm underappreciated, like, behind the scenes, like in this industry, but that I'm very talented. I know that people don't know half the songs that are written by me or performed by me, and I'm fine with that. I also just bought my $1 million home, and I'm very happy with my life how it is right now.
I love that.
Yes, that's
I
literally the
love
fucking
that.
dream.
Because so many people, when they think of, you know, being in the industry, it has to be like a Gaga or a Beyonce or you didn't make it. Are you fucking kidding me? There are so many character actors who've been on multiple shows,
Yes.
who've been like maybe season regulars even, who have steady work.
Yep.
They're able to live their lives and they're living their dream. Aim for the middle is what I'm saying.
Yes, literally, because that's where the sweet spot is. You get all your money, none of these weird ass fucking contract situations. Not have to be fucking on stage when you're fucking exhausted and dehydrated and shit. Like,
and not only that, but I really feel as though there's such a tremendous pressure that it must be.
oh, 100%.
Not that I think Beyonce's shaking in her boots or whatever,
No.
but you know, Beyonce's not always on top.
No.
And when one thing doesn't sell quite as well as the other thing, suddenly, she's, you know,
Oh, she's flopping. Blah, 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 blah,
and
blah.
everyone's like Gaga, same thing with her, and you know, you know, the disease came out and it didn't quite hit as big,
Yeah.
but now, you know, she's kind of redeemed herself, whatever. But it's also like, are you kidding? Like that first song for being a flop, which I am using air quotes, literally had millions of streams in its first week of release. Like, there are so many artists that would be like, holy shit, this is the biggest hit I've ever had if I got that kind of reception. But when you're at that level, if you don't surpass yourself
Yes.
every single time, somehow you're a failure.
It's just and I've realized this new generation, I hate sounding old, but it is what it is. They are, it baffles me how you have so much information at your fingertips now
Mhm.
regarding anything, especially hardcore facts like sales, statistics, all that stuff. And they still remain just completely willfully obtuse. I don't get it. Someone
There's
today
that.
said they put like Tate McRae, which I like.
I like Tate McRae.
I like her. She's
yeah.
doing something different that I've been missing in pop music, honestly,
Yeah.
as far as like her performances and stuff.
Yeah.
Some tweaking, but whatever. No one comes out polished anymore. It is what it is.
No, and I don't think.
And I don't like the way that she sings, but I don't. I can't understand a fucking goddamn word she says. But that's just the trend right now, and it is what it is.
Yeah, mumble singing is
But
definitely a thing.
someone like quoted one of her videos today, and they said, well, you know, people were like down on Britney Spears too, and she was just like a label puppet, and she was generic when she came out. So like, I don't see why she's getting all the hate. I'm all, hold on. And this isn't me just being a Britney stan.
But you are.
I am. But I'm also just a realist. I'm all, yes and no, because Britney was never generic.
No.
Britney came out with her first single and changed the scope of pop music with an aesthetic, with a voice that one had ever heard before.
And also, she was the one behind
Yes.
her choreography in her videos.
And
she turned ideas that she turned the record company down when they wanted to give her.
Yes, like
maybe I'm a Britney stan too. I am now by osmosis through you.
But no, like she was never generic.
She
changed the scope of.
They tried to make other girls
music.
like her.
There was not exactly. They turned out clones after her.
Yeah.
She broke records within her first couple of months of existing.
Yes, because there had been Madonna and there had been Janet Jackson,
Yes.
but they were already well in their 20s by the time they hit. This was a teenager. That was especially different about her.
Nothing was like her since Debbie Gibson, and that was a flash in the pan, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, really.
I mean, she's still around, don't get me wrong, but there was not longevity with that career.
No.
No, Britney was the first teenage pop starlet that popped out a different sound, a different type of voice. Everyone tried to emulate her voice, despite what everyone said about it. Yeah. Everyone tried to fucking do that, and they still do to this day, actually, to certain degrees. Had a stage presence, changed the scope of what female pop music was from then until today. Like, that's not a comparison. This is Tate's third album, and I'm not dissing on her at all, but you can't defend one artist and then compare them to another one that literally within 3-4 months was an international global superstar with dolls being made and TV appearances and breaking records out the gate with one song and then kept continuing that momentum. Like, that hasn't happened, and it's not it's not going to happen like ever again. There's never going to be a Janet Jackson, a Beyonce, a Michael Jackson, a Lady Gaga, probably even a Katy Perry in this new generation. Things are just different. Like, let people be their own artist, and that's fine. But I was just like, how old are y'all? Because no.
And not only that, but like you're saying,
Britney didn't have to release like 4 singles before an album hit. No, it was one single. It got huge. A month later, album, bam, records breaking, streets filled with people, like everyone hounding her for everything like that. We're not going to see that again. Thankfully, for some cases, like the paparazzi hounding and all that stuff. But I mean,
well,
success-wise,
the industry has changed too, because we do have streaming now, as to where before you had to buy that, you had to physically buy the album and what have you. But yeah, there is so much information available out there. In fact, I got into like a little spat with someone online the other day because Patrick Schwarzenegger is on the new season of White Lotus. And they asked him about, being a Nepo baby or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And he was basically like, okay, yeah, like, I obviously, like, that's my last name,
Yeah.
but I also was able to take years and years of classes.
Yeah.
I've been in multiple stage plays. I've had hundreds of rejections
Yeah.
from auditions that I've been on. And by the way, he's not like the star of the show.
No.
Nor is any casting agent sitting around going, oh, you know who people really respect as an actor? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let's get this
Right.
kid in here. Not happening. And he just said it's frustrating
Yeah.
when people think the only reason that he has succeeded is because of his last name.
Yeah.
And of course, all the comments were like, yeah, he's a Nepo baby, and oh, yeah, everything's been handed to him, and all this stuff. And like, if everything's been handed to him, why is this his first major role? If everything has been handed to him, how come most people don't even know who the fuck he is? Yes, he has absolutely had
Doors open.
doors open and access to all these things, and of course he's able to take all these classes and do all these things
Yeah.
because he, his parents pay for his college and all this stuff. But that doesn't mean the only reason that he is on this show is because
Exactly.
he waltzed in and said, well, I'm a Schwarzenegger, so now I'm on the show.
There's got to be a passion behind it.
Well, not only that, but like casting agents don't really care.
Well, and a perseverance behind it as well. You have to keep
Sure.
going and going and going. I mean, how many people have tried to have a one-off fucking album or try to break into acting and they got into one film and it didn't do well or something, and then they were just like, well, fuck this, and they're just basking in their parents' money.
Kelly Osbourne.
Literally.
I mean, and she actually had a couple of decent songs
Yes.
off that album, but
But I mean,
didn't really have the drive to be a pop star.
no.
because I don't
You
think
know
she
who
would-
did? Oddly enough, since we're even on this conversation, Brooke Hogan, still releasing music. Some of it very, very good, but not on anyone's fucking charts. Not on anyone's fucking
Yeah.
eyeline at all, but something that she enjoys doing. And
And she could be afforded that, and sure, she's a Nepo baby and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But again, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be.
no, she was afforded the best producers during her first album. It didn't do that fucking well. But she didn't just like, I'm just going to go co-host the show.
I
or-
didn't even know she was still
you know.
making music, to be honest.
See, but that's the thing. She didn't care. That's her passion. You know what I mean? 20 years later, she's still doing it. She didn't have to.
Yeah.
Obviously.
No, and I definitely like nepotism is alive and well. Sure,
Yeah.
if the producer or the director wants you on their project,
Yes.
you're going to be on it. But for the most part, sure, you can have all those. Look at Rumor Willis, who is actually incredibly talented. She can dance, she can sing, she can act.
Extremely.
She's great, but she's never quite hit.
No. She's not A-list at all. A-list family.
And sure,
Not an
again,
A-list individual.
no, she's had the opportunities, she's had the training because her parents could afford it, and of
Yes.
course you could be in dance class from the time you're 5
Yeah.
because your parents can afford that and all this stuff. But if nepotism and nah alone was enough to make you a star, why isn't Rumor Willis a star then?
Exactly. Especially when she started, because her parents were fucking on top.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that Demi Moore could sing.
Yes.
I heard 5 demos that Demi Moore recorded before she became an actress or had hit, for acting or
Yeah.
whatever. Never ended up happening. I think one of the songs actually became a demo for somebody else
Yeah.
and then they, took it on. But yeah, that's not quite enough.
No.
It's enough to get you in the door. It's enough to give you a
Yep.
fabulous life. All these things. I'm not denying that. Sure, very different echelon that we're
Yeah.
used to, and for people who are not connected to the industry that way. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be.
Nope. You need perseverance, and you need uniqueness, which the YouTuber actually brought up a very good point, which I said from day one about singers and whatnot, is that anyone can sound like a typical church girl in the choir.
Yeah.
Go to any gospel black church, you can find a Jennifer Hudson. No shade to Jennifer Hudson at all. I'm not saying that at all. But he made a good point to where the BB Rexes of the world and the Charlie XCXs up until literally last year, you hear their voices, they don't stand out. You hear Janet or Brittany or Rihanna, you know within 2 seconds who's singing that song. There's something that just draws you in
Well, and
that you can't manufacture, you know.
And something also has to hit. There just has to be that moment where it hits, and that's what makes it popular, whatever it is, whether TV show, music, movies, what have you. There just has to be that thing that hits, and then you get, you know, that level of stardom, and not everyone
has that.
achieves that. Not that they have bad lives, or I'm
No,
sure
not
they'd
at all.
like to have more or whatever, but it doesn't guarantee you a spot.
I think Charlie has her sound as far as her production and her songwriting and all that stuff, you know. Same way Taylor Swift has. She's way more of a songwriter than a vocalist.
Sure, but Taylor Swift could be, and I'm sorry, Swifties, don't kill me. Had she not hit from her first couple albums, and again, she was a younger, she was almost kind of like the country Britney, not because of her stage presence or performances, but because
she blew up.
She was very young,
yes,
and she blew up right away. Had that not hit right away for her, I don't think we'd be talking about her.
Probably
I don't think
not.
We'd be panning to her at NFL games.
No.
Because for whatever reason, and I think her music is absolutely fine. I'm not down on her for whatever reason, but I think that she had that fan base initially because right at that first coming out, first blowing up, first whatever, that's what made her a star.
Yes, and there were no other teenage blonde songwriting girls doing country music at that time at all. None of them. It was like LeAnn Rimes.
I was just gonna say, because there's like LeAnn Rimes.
She didn't write, but she had the voice.
She had the voice, but well, she's also a personal mess. But she also was a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
She had her one or two hits. She didn't really keep that going. She didn't have that thing. And I think there's plenty of artists that are like that blew up. And yes, they have careers and all that stuff. And of course, now we think of them as being so iconic. But like, you could have missed the boat on that.
No. And just fucking keep going. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, and I still think that middle ground is really the perfect spot to be.
Oh, totally. Yeah. To be able to have not that many people know who you are, but have your core fans know who you are.
Sure.
And you know they're not just gonna be fucking crazy people.
You're in a space where you can do what you want.
100%. That's all I got.
I have one last thing, and this is just totally random. Do y'all remember the days of the Old West? And the train robberies? Oh, the times repeat themselves.
That is random. Okay, what?
Yeah, thieves have targeted freight trains running through the deserts of California and Arizona.
What?
Yes, in a string of audacious heists. Most recently, there was a theft of more than $2 million worth of Nike sneakers. Now let's think about this for a minute. First of all,
what?
I am picturing them riding up on horseback, but...
Same! Actually, I was like, wait a minute.
How do you rob a moving train?
Were they in Cybertrucks? Like,
also, where do you put $2 million? First of all, $2 million itself in cash
is fucking
heavy.
Yes, and a lot of space,
a lot of stuff. In retail value of shoes, the fuck do they put those shoes? They're not running away on horses on that shit.
No.
What is going on. How on earth do you steal $2 million worth of shoes?
I just said last week.
Where do they go?
That I know that they exist in modern day, but I still find it funny they're like pirates in the ocean now.
Oh, yeah.
That's just hilarious to me.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a whole new level. I'm like, what? Because the open seas, there's no regulation. Like,
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah, it's international.
How are you
waters.
driving up to a goddamn train and robbing them? And where are you putting this shit at?
Right?
How are you getting away? You're on roads.
And fucking train tracks.
Yes.
Like, well, this is what always gets me about these big heists. Just like a few years ago, there was the heist of like however many fucking tons of maple syrup that people stole. All of the coordination and the Ocean's 11-esque teamwork
I
that
just
has to
picture
go on.
people in fucking U-Hauls or something on the side of it, and then hopping onto the train and just tossing like boxes of Jordans to the next person that's putting them in the back. I'm just like, how?
But even so, you'd still at least have to have one driver, one person on the train,
Yes.
one person catching the shoes, and the ability to stay side by side
Mobilized.
with the train.
Yes.
Like, that's fucking coordination. Y'all need to get jobs where you help people figure shit out, because that
Yes.
is...
That
you could
makes
be
no
making
sense.
$2 million of shoes. Y'all could be making
Work for the
hundreds of
fucking
millions
FBI.
of dollars. Yeah, fuck the FBI.
Well, not for
But
this.
y'all could be...
Well, not for this fucking administration, but
Y'all could be doing something real with this effort and technology that you are utilizing to steal. How are you going to resell those fucking shoes? eBay?
oh no, the shoe market is huge. There are sites, there are apps for this. This I know, and I'm not even a shoe head.
Do they serial number shoes?
I don't
Like,
think
could you
that-
tell if they were
I don't think
stolen
so.
shoes?
And I don't think that there's like a tracking process at all.
Mm.
But there are apps, resale apps, where if something drops, people will pay $1,000, $2,000
Okay.
for a pair of $150 fucking shoes.
Right, because they're sold out everywhere.
It's
Whatever, yeah.
insane. There are robberies in shoe stores. Do
Well, yeah.
that.
That's a smash and grab.
Like, instead of
This...
risking or like running whatever fucking truck you're driving next to
I
a fucking
have,
truck.
like, was there a helicopter involved? Like, what the
My
fuck?
mind just, I'm literally like just
I'm-
picturing someone.
I'm trying to...
At first it's a horse, and then I'm
Yes.
like, well, no, that can't
No,
carry
it's
it.
not
No,
possible.
a U-Haul. Like, and then just hopping like onto the train and
Right.
just, I'm like, I don't get it.
The logistics alone.
I'm exhausted thinking about it.
Gosh.
My ankle's already like hurting, and the painkillers are kicking in. But I couldn't imagine like risking and falling and tripping underneath the fucking train and getting slaughtered. Like, how?
Also, where is the preliminary meeting for this of the Thieves
How do you
Club?
How do you round up a gang of characters?
Yes! And then sit everyone down to explain that you'll be robbing a train.
And how do you get the fucking schedule?
Right?
I get like warehouse thefts
Sure,
because
sure,
there's an
sure.
inside job. Someone's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, we're getting the delivery."
And this
of
could have been two.
Very true, but
But that's very
crazy.
complicated. Like, no, that you're doing too much.
old habits never die. Apparently,
I guess.
pirates in the open seas and fucking train heists. I don't get it.
Mm. Oh man, the one thing I do get is joy out of doing this podcast every week. Y'all, we don't care.
We don't.
We don't care how incoherent we are. We don't care if you listen to the end, thank you, but we don't care. We don't care if 5 people listen to the show or 5,000 people listen to the show. This is something I've never had any remote thought of being like a super podcast star.
Yeah.
Or like whatever. I don't even think they have those anymore. It's kind of played out because everyone has one now. But I never ever thought of like, ooh, this is going to be our ticket to like stardom or whatever. We just have fun doing the show. We're enjoying ourselves. And we're glad you're along for the ride.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out our sponsors and our show notes and save some money by using our coupon codes. Until next time,
Goodbye.
bye.